Okay, how's it going, everybody? So we're gonna go ahead and read some more Ho Chi Minh today. This is from 1952. This is from "The imperialist aggressors can never enslave the heroic Vietnamese people." So, last time we read atrocious crimes of the U.S. interventionists. Today we're going to read achievements recorded by the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. So let's go ahead and get into this. Yeah, this is written in 1952. In 1951, the Vietnamese people made a stride forward. In the political field, the founding of the Vietnam Workers' Party, the amalgamation of the Viet Minh and Lien Vet, the setting up of the Committee of Action for Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, greatly consolidated the unity and enhanced the confidence of the Vietnamese people. They strengthened the alliance between the three brother countries in their struggle against the common enemies, the French colonialists and U.S. interventionists, in order to realize their common goal, i.e. national independence. So we were able to frustrate the enemy's policy of, quote, divide and rule, end quote. In the economic field, the National Bank of Vietnam has been established. Our finances placed under centralized and unified supervision, and communications have been reorganized. Formerly, we demolished roads to check the enemy's advance. At present, we repair them to drive the enemy to an early defeat. Formerly, we did our utmost to sabotage roads. Now we encounter great difficulties in mending them, but have managed to complete our work quite rapidly. This is a hard job, especially when we lack machines. However, thanks to the enthusiasm and sacrificing spirit of our people, this work was carried through. To avoid enemy air raids, it was done at night by workers, even knee-deep in water. In the bright torch light, hundreds of men, women, and young people dug the earth to fill the gaps in the roads, broke stones, felled trees, and built bridges. As in any other work, here the workers' enthusiasm was roused by emulation drives. I am sure that you would be astonished to see teams of old volunteers from 60 to 80 years competing with teams of young workers. Here it must be pointed out that in the free zone, most of the work is done at night. Children go to school, housewives go to market, and guerrillas go to attack the enemy. Great successes have been achieved in the elaboration of the agricultural tax. Formerly, the peasants were compelled to pay taxes of various kinds and make many other contributions. Nowadays, they have only to pay a uniform tax in kind. Households whose production does not exceed 60 kilograms of paddy per year are exempt from tax. Households who harvest greater quantities have to pay a graduated tax. Generally speaking, the taxes to be paid do not exceed 20% of the total value of the annual production. To collect taxes in time, the party, the National United Front, and the government have mobilized a great number of cadres to examine the new tax from the political and technical points of view. After their study, these cadres go to the countryside and hold talks and meetings to exchange views with the peasants and explain to them the new taxation policy. After this preparatory period, the peasants of both sexes appointed a committee composed of representatives of the administration and various people's organizations whose duty it is to estimate the production of each household and fix the rate to be paid after approval by a Congress in which all the peasants take part. This reform was welcomed by the population, who enthusiastically took part in this tax collection. Agricultural tax has been established simultaneously with the movement for increased production. At present, the government possesses adequate stocks of foodstuffs to cater for the soldiers and workers. So we have thwarted the enemy's cunning plot of blockading us to reduce us to starvation. As far as mass education is concerned, in 1951, we scored worthwhile results, though great difficulties were created by the war, such as frequent changes of school sites, schooling at nighttime, lack of school requisites. The number of schools rose from 2,712 in 1950 to 3,591 in 1951, with an attendance of 293,256 and 401,038 pupils, respectively. In South Vietnam, the situation is all more ticklish. There, the free zones exist everywhere, but they are not safe. Children go to their classrooms. In fact, there are only single classrooms and not schools in the strict meaning of this word, with the same vigilance as their fathers and brothers display in guerrilla fighting. Despite that, at present, there are in South Vietnam 3,332 classrooms attended by 111,700 pupils. The liquidation of illiteracy is actively undertaken. In the first half of 1951, there were in Zone 3, Zone 5, and Viet Bac Zone 324,000 people who were freed from illiteracy and 350,000 others who began learning. During the same period, illiteracy was wiped out in 53 villages and 3 districts. One district is composed of from 5 to 10 villages. People's organizations opened 837 classes, attended by 9,800 public employees. The party, National United Front, government, the General Confederation of Labor, and the Army have periodically opened short-term political training courses, about 1 week. In short, great efforts are being made in mass education. Okay. Yeah, so that is Ho Chi Minh. Achievements recorded by the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, written in 1952. So next we're going to read Development and Strengthening of International Relations. And along with that, because it's kind of short, we might also read The Interventionists Suffer Defeat After Defeat. We may read these in one take, or their own individual take too. So yeah, and then there's a couple more after that. But yeah, so well, thank y'all for tuning in. Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Medium. I'm back on TikTok now. All these are Marxist sauce. Subscribe to me. Check it out. Also, YouTube's where you're probably hearing this. You can subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm nearly to 300 readings, and so there's plenty of stuff to read, and there's only going to be more of it to come. Please, encourage people to use it. Not everyone could read. It can well, for one, not everyone can read, but also not everyone can hold a book. Not everyone has the time to hold a book in front of them and read, or even hold a phone in front of them and read. So in these cases, they can gain all the more education by just turning on Marxist or the other YouTube channels that also read, that also, in audiobooks in general, but also the other, socialist and Marxist YouTube channels that read stuff, They could turn on these and just listen to them. And if they're driving, or if they're, cleaning their house, or if they're trying to get stuff done, maybe they're working in a shop or something and they want to throw that on, out in the garage or something, I don't know. They could throw it on and, just get all the more education while they're, because now they don't have to actually read. They can hear, and get maybe a summary of what these writings are in the least is better than nothing, right? That's kind of the whole point, is to make progress with it. So, yeah, well, thank y'all for tuning in, This is Marxist. Hit me up. Y'all have a great day.